Listen.
Hoy!
In the Disney movie, the witch is thrown off the cliff and dies. But in real life, guess what? It doesn't happen that way. The witch lives on and on and on. Actually lives in your house for the next 23 years. Or lives in the office and you work with that person. Or stays in your same prayer group, same community, maybe even in the same feast. And you're wondering, marami namang ibang feast. Why is that person in my feast? Can she not be in the other feast? There are people in your life that test your patience. Do you know why they're there? Because once upon a time you probably prayed, Lord, please make me more patient. And the answer to your prayer is somebody who will test your patience. Friends, our life is not a Disney movie, and it will never be a Disney movie. But that's okay. You see, the problem is not the pain. The problem is when we make the pain permanent. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pain is there. It's a reality. You need pain to be happy. But the mistake is you make it permanent. And the only solution I know is found in the Word. I love it when the book of Psalms, chapter 23, you probably know that Psalm. It says, they that walk in the valley of darkness shall fear no evil. It does not say that you stand in the valley. It does not say that you sit in the valley. It does not say that you sulk in the valley. It does not say that you stand in the valley. It says that you walk in the valley. You put one foot in front of the other and another foot in front of the other, and you do the right thing and you obey God in the midst of the valley, in the midst of the struggle, in the midst of the pain, in the midst of your trial. You keep on doing the right thing, and one day you'll get out of the valley. Do I hear a loud amen?
Amen.
Tell somebody beside you, keep walking. Keep doing the right thing.
Keep doing the right thing.
I need to get something out of your mind. And what is that? So many people think if I follow God, then I'm going to live a Disney movie life. No, pain is there. But please understand, your life. You know, when we've got, how many of you have got problems? Raise your hand. You've got problems? If you've got problems, here's the temptation. Ask me what?
What?
To think that your life is filled with problems. You know what? If you look at your problems really up close, this is your problem, you look at your problem like this, that's all you see. But what happens, your problem covers all the blessings that God has given to you. Let me declare this truth. Your problem is only 1% of your life. I don't care how many your problems are. I don't care how intense your problems are. It's only 1% of your life. From a spiritual objective, when you look at God's love, when you look at God's abundance, when you look at the Eucharist, when you look at Mama Mary, when you look at the church, when you look at how God has blessed you from the time you were born to the time you came to know Jesus to now, listen to me. Your life is filled with 99% blessing.
Amen.
99% blessing. You don't see it, and you're discouraged, and you're depressed, and you feel that God's not listening to you because all you see are your problems. They're so close. Take one step backward. Take a step backward. Look at your whole life, and then be grateful for every blessing that God has given to you. Here's the point. Can I move on? Can I move on? I'm going to introduce you to a guy, a character in the crucifixion story. If you grew up in church, you know him. But he's a bit player. He has a cameo role. If you watch Marvel movies, he's like Stan Lee. He appears. Sometimes doesn't say a line, but you see him. This guy in the crucifixion story does not say a word, and his appearance is but momentary. Pilate, the governor of Judea, was cross-examining Jesus. Didn't really want to condemn the guy. And then he thought of something, and in his mind, a brilliant idea. He said, it's Passover. And there was a custom during that time that when it was a feast of the Jews, the Romans, like Pilate, they could release one Jewish prisoner as a token, a little gift, a little piece of bone that you throw to the dog. And so he asked the Jews, hey guys, it's Passover. Do you want me to release Jesus of Nazareth? And you know the answer. In the Gospel of John, chapter 18, verse 40, the Jews answered. What did they answer? Not this man, but Barabbas. And then it describes who he was. Barabbas was a robber. Can everybody say robber? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John mentions Barabbas. There are some stories in the Gospels that are only found in Matthew. Some are only found in Mark. Some are found in Matthew and Mark. Some are found in Luke and Mark. Some are found only in John. But this story, this character is found in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All four Gospels are ganging up and telling you this guy is important because this question that Pilate asked the Jews is a question that life asks you every single moment of your life. Do you want Jesus? And many people say, not him, we want Barabbas. My dear friends, I've been serving God for 40 years. Started when I was 12, 13 years old. You don't have to bring out your calculator to compute. I'm an old guy. 40 years of ministry. I have met people who lack joy, lack peace, lack abundance in their lives, and they blame God. Let me tell you, many times, they don't understand. The reason why they lack joy, the reason why they lack peace, the reason why they lack love, the reason why they lack abundance is because they chose a robber to enter their lives. When you choose Barabbas to enter your life, John 10 verse 10 says that the thief comes in to kill and steal and destroy. The robber has entered our lives and stolen away our joy, our peace, and our abundance. And you're going to ask me, Brother Bo, what are you talking about? Who's Barabbas? That's the question I want to answer today. Ask me, who is Barabbas?
Who is Barabbas?
Louder!
Who is Barabbas?
Don't look around you. Look inside of you. Matthew 27 verse 17 gives a little bit more detail of who Barabbas is. Pilate says, which one do you want me to release you? Jesus, Barabbas, or Jesus who is called Messiah. So Barabbas had a name. And it is shocking. For Christians, it's blasphemous. Wait a minute, he's supposed to call Jesus? What? You know why it shocks us? Because for us, Jesus is a special name. It's the name above every other name, upon whom every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that he is Lord. Jesus is a special name, and all of a sudden the robber has the same name. Are you listening to me? And the reason why it is shocking, friends, where did the name Jesus, why did Jesus of Nazareth end up with the name Jesus? Ask me why. Why? Well, because there was an angel that appeared to Joseph, and Joseph at that time wanted to friend zone Mary. And then the angel appeared and said, no, that baby's, God's plan, etc., etc. And then he says, and you shall name him Jesus. The name Jesus comes from God. God the Father said, no, that's going to be the name of my son. Now here's the crazy thing. People don't know this. Ask me, what do we not know?
What we do not know.
The name Jesus was the 6th most common name in the time of Jesus. Jesus was such a common name. Like if Joseph was a Filipino and Mary was a Filipino and all this happened in the Philippines, the angel would have said to Joseph, Joseph, and you shall name him June. You know some June? J-U-N or J-H-U-N? Common name. Jesus was a common name just like June. And you ask yourself, why? Well, if Jesus was so special, maybe God should have given him a more special name. And you shall call him Optimus Prime. but why such a popular, common name? Ordinary name? Ask me why.
Why?
Louder.
Why?
Because this is how God operates. He transforms the ordinary into extraordinary. And if you feel ordinary right now, if you feel ungifted, if you feel regular, if you feel typical, if you feel that you're not gifted, if you feel that there is nothing extraordinary about you, there's nothing special about you, hear me out. This is God's word for you. This is my specialty, my child. I take ordinary things and I lift them up and I transform them into becoming extraordinary. This is the God that you worship. This is the God that you follow. And so they've got the same name in Hebrew, Yeshua. Yeshua of Nazareth and Yeshua of Barabbas. Wait a minute, Brother Bo. Can you give me a little bit more details? Yes. It turns out. Now, do you know what Barabbas is? Ask me what. What's the meaning of Barabbas? Would you know? It gets. Can I go deeper? Can I go deeper? Yes. Barabbas. Bar means son. Abba. You know what Abba is? Aramaic word for father. Bar Abba, Yeshua, son of the Father. What? How could two men, one called Yeshua Barabbas, son of the Father, and the other Yeshua of Nazareth, son of the Father? Coincidence? No. It's a message. It's a message to you. You have a choice. You have the choice to make. You see, in the book of Mark, chapter 15, verse 7, it gives you a little bit more detail of who this guy is. It says, at that time, a man named Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder in the riot. It turns out, Barabbas was no ordinary thief, robber. He was a rebel. He was a revolutionary. And like Jesus of Nazareth, he was making promises. He was saying, follow me and you will gain freedom. Follow me and we will be able to defeat the enemy, Rome. Follow me and you will get salvation. Just like Jesus of Nazareth, who was promising, follow me, except the path is totally different. Yeshua, Barabbas was saying, take matters into your own hands. Take matters into your own hands and win and get the victory. Yeshua of Nazareth was saying, follow me and take matters into God's hands. Take matters into God's hands. My dear friends, Barabbas. Shout it out. Ask me, who is Barabbas?
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 Who is Barabbas? Your pride. Your pride. And what is pride? Your delusion that you can control everything. That is your pride. You cannot, but you think you can. There are two things, listen to me. There's some things you can control. There's some things you cannot. Pride says, I can control everything. Two things you cannot control. How many?
Two.
The first thing you cannot control, your past. Say your past.
Your past.
You cannot control your past. You cannot. You cannot. Friends, you cannot ride. Google has not yet invented a time machine where you can go in, press a few buttons, and you travel back in time to stop your parents from separating. You cannot travel back in time and prevent your uncle from molesting you. You cannot go back in time to prevent your father from becoming an alcoholic. You cannot change the past. But pride will say, I am so angry because of this and that happened in my past. Your pride will keep you getting angry and holding on to that resentment. My friends, there's only one choice really if you want to be happy, is to accept the fact that there are some things that you cannot change. And tell somebody beside you, move on.
Move on.
Louder.
Move on.
You've got to tell people, you've got to move on. And number two, you cannot change the past and you cannot change people. I've got an announcement to make. You cannot change your husband.
Of course.
You cannot change your wife. You cannot change your kids. You cannot change your friends. You cannot change mom. You cannot change dad. What do? You surrender. Barabbas will tell you, no, control. Control people. And you see, you think you can control people. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to use threats. You're going to manipulate. You're going to dominate. You're going to use anger. You're going to lie. You're going to cheat. You're going to put pressure. And guess what? Pride. The moment pride enters a relationship, the relationship starts to die. Are you listening to me? This is heavy. This is deep. This is big. You want a relationship to die? Welcome Barabbas into your life. Use pride. Jesus, Barabbas says, take matters into your own hands. Control past. Control people. Yeshua of Nazareth says, be humble, and he will lift you up in due time. There are two things that you can control. Can you stand up, please?